I'm an adult of my spirit. I'm an adult of my mind. I'm an adult of my thought. I'm an adult of my love. Welcome to ALPOUGH. Hope you're having a great day. This is today we're going to be talking about thoughts are bought. As you can see, if you're watching the news every day, what is being said, we're going to kind of talk about that in a funny way here today. But let's start thought definition. What's a thought? Does thought mean? An idea or opinion produced by thinking or occurring suddenly in the mind. All right. The action or process of thinking. Now, thought equals taught. All right. So now what happens when you start at school? Well, you're taught thought. So you're going in there to be taught a new thought. Right? So we go through these taught phrases. Everything's about a certain line. If you'll see every single day, there is these phrases. All right. They're simple phrases, right? Similar to Sophia in being what I just said, the adults of spirit, mind, body, thought, love. Okay. Simple phrases. Well, this is how they do it to us. So I'm going to do kind of a funny take on how we're being taught. Okay. So let's just take a question. I'm going to pretend to be a politician, and we're just going to go as if I'm in some type of press conference. Okay. So, Mr. President, are we getting a fourth stimulus? I want you to know that is a great question, and I have continued interest in what we're going to do about that. Now, the first thing we really need to do is we have to get to the root causes, of the stimulus. You see, the American people understand that there always is about the root causes. So once we get to the root causes, then we'll be able to effectively understand where we're going to be going forward. But see, there is a lot of misinformation out there that we have to kind of go through here. All right, we're going to go through all this misinformation because you know what they're talking about on the other side. They're just talking about everything else other than what the American people need to know. And so I'm an enthusiastic supporter of the American people. Okay. Now, there's also going to be a lot of speculation. There's been a lot of speculation, and I know it's taken quite a while. But again, we have to get back to the root causes. What's the root causes that's going on here? Well, it's misinformation. It's misinformation about the root causes. And it's causing more speculation. And we are speculating all the speculationary things that we have to go. But what really, we got to have some change. Change is so important, right? Change is just really important, and it needs to happen. It absolutely needs to happen. And so what we're going to do right now is we're forming a task force. This task force is going to bring another task force as we do this speculation, what it is going to cause us to get this stimulus. Now, it's going to take some change. Okay, it's definitely going to take some change. And as we know, the American people, they know that growth takes time. But again, how long has it been? How long has it been? It's been a long time, and we're still in the speculation and finding the root causes. But the American people, they won't stand for this much longer. But what I'm asking you is patience while we do our due diligence. Because see, when the task is a force that helps change the American economy. And that's what we're involved in, is changing the American economy. We have to look, we have to know, we have to be clear, we have to be positive. We have to take into consideration everything about what needs to be done. How much should be the stimulus? We're still trying to figure out what a stimulus bill actually means, even though there's money back there. We're going to put it in a bill. I just talked to Bill. Bill is ready to bill the Treasury, but again, they have a task force deciding what we should task to them and how much, according to what the American people need. Now we know that the Americans are in need. You are number one priority. We don't care about no other countries, only you. Now we know that as Americans, we're strong people. And it doesn't matter if we're broke and we don't get any money and we don't get any Medicare and we don't get anything. The American people are the greatest people on this planet, as well as America is the greatest nation in the world. Now, what we're looking to do, we're trying to clear this path. We're clearing a path. I can just see it right now. I'm seeing the path. The path is right before us. I can see it. Oh, wow. Oh, I can't believe it. We're getting finally, the root causes. We're figuring out the root causes, okay? But the misinformation, America, is out there. And so we're asking you for your stupidness. I mean, your patience in this matter, because the only thing that matters is you, the American people. So, I really want to answer this question. And there's been so much speculation on what the answers should be. But as we said, we've got 3 task forces. There's Task Force 1, there's Task Force 2, and then there's Task Force 3. Oh, wait a minute. Did they name a plane after that? Called the Task Force, I think. Anyway, you see all this speculation that's going on. All right, but we know that there's change coming. We promise you, change is coming, because the change needs to happen. And if we come together and you give us the patience while we do our due diligence, we're going to find that clear paths to growth. And when we find that clear path to growth, we'll have an answer for you. Thank you, and God bless America. Right? Every day it's like this. So what does this all mean, what I just said? Babble. More babble. Our thoughts are being bought by filling it up with nonsense. For each one of us, you've heard that expression, a penny for your thoughts. That's how we're bought. It's by money to get a good job, home, have a car, have a meaningful life. It's the penny that is enslaving us. Where do we go from here? The definition of all of this is confusing. So the theme here is you're Thoughts are being bought through confusion. Constant confusion. Every single day is a major catastrophe. Have you noticed that? Every day. The Cuban thing, the stimulus, Afghanistan, mass shootings, our health. I can't say the word B. Every single day is mass confusion. We're in what I would call a clinical psychosis, in the sense that we're all in post-traumatic stress disorder. And it's even more complex now than ever. So for all of us, ladies and gentlemen, we have to value our thoughts. As I talked about yesterday, controlling the narrative, he who controls the narrative, they who control the narrative control thought. If our thoughts are being controlled, which, remember when I've told you this before, it causes an electrical misinformation in the brain and messes it up. We're being bombarded around all this energy, which is language. Who's to blame? Everything. Who's to blame? No one takes responsibility. Have you noticed that? Nobody takes responsibility. It's the other person's fault. It's the other party's fault. It's the other country's fault. It's the other company's fault. No one is taking the responsibility. So where does that leave us? To take responsibility. If you're on one side and you don't know what the other side is doing, you are being manipulated. Straight up. Both sides are fighting amongst themselves, and we're a reflection of that, fighting amongst ourselves. The seething things that are going on in the media, even on Facebook, how people are taking their stance and being violent if someone does not agree with them. I'm seeing more FUs literally on Facebook alone. And that means they're winning. That means they're winning. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've done one thing here, if you're not studying both sides, you're going to be caught up in a tsunami of thought. The way I described it in that rant I did, saying everything. Okay, if you think you know it all, are you watching hearings? Are you actually seeing how these guys interact? Are you involved in understanding the political agenda that's going on? Well, if you're only doing it one way, my friend, you've got to learn to understand both before you make a decision. Now, I've seen people going back and forth both ways. But really what it's coming down to is what's good for the people. And I'm saying to you this. Who is talking about love? Find it. You ever hear the president say, I love you? You ever hear Pelosi? You ever hear any of them say, it's about the love that we have for the American people? You don't hear that. You're not hearing it. You're hearing race division, medical division, financial division. You'd rather us be watching people go up in space by the hobby of these billionaires. Oh, I'm going to go up in space. Haven't we been there, done that? Isn't it time to concentrate on America first, the people first? Whose money is it anyway? Isn't it our taxes? Shouldn't we be the one to decide? We have to take advantage of every opportunity that has been given to us. Do not let people make you feel like if you're getting unemployment, you're getting a stimulus check, you're getting help, that this is your fault. See, it's always about that. It's somebody else's fault. Instead of us as a people, as one spirit, coming together and making the decisions. And if they can't get it right, that's what your vote is for. That's what your vote is for. Let's see if we got any comments here before I get out of here. Tracy says the root cause of what? Exactly. You remember when what's her name went to Guatemala and her whole word was, what are the root causes? The root causes. We got to find the root causes. We already know what the root causes are. People are being killed in other countries and they're trying to get here. Period. Everybody wants to come. You know, there was 180,000 people that crossed the border last month. 180,000. Take that times 6. But whose fault is it? Where's the blame game? It's Republicans' fault. It's the Democrats' fault. I call them the red pills and the blue pills. At the end of the day, what did I say in that speech? I said exactly what they all say. I was listening to the hearings today. This is all the things this is how it goes on. They have 4 or 5 minutes to talk, and they go on a whole spiel before they even get to the question, because most of them are going to go to lunch right afterwards. So be an adult of your thought, your mind, your spirit, and your love. Let's reason with each other instead of F-ing each other. I'm seeing this name calling. It's not going to do any good. You know, you guys say this and that and this and that. People do not care when you get really violent with your words. Our words are specific. So I'm going to end this with my word. I love you. Let's live in love. Let's grasp that we're all we got. Families who are fighting over all this stuff. Remember, that means that the red pills and the blue pills are winning and we're the losers. Let's not be a loser. Let's be Americans, the winners that we are. American people, I'm a adult of my spirit. I'll see you at high noon tomorrow. Love you now. Come back tomorrow. Okay? We got other things to talk about.